The river that changes its course does not abandon its nature as water, but discovers new landscapes it was always meant to explore. And that is the thought for today. Welcome to 7 Good Minutes. I'm Clyde Lee Dennis. Thanks for joining me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. In today's episode of 7 Good Minutes, we talk about letting today be different and breaking free from yesterday's patterns. Enjoy. There's a moment every morning when you stand at the crossroads between who you were yesterday and who you could become today. Most of us walk right past this moment without noticing it, automatically stepping into the familiar patterns that have shaped our lives. But what if today you paused at that crossroads and chose differently? By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to recognize the power you have each morning to break free from limiting patterns and create genuine change, one conscious choice at a time. We are creatures of habit, and that's not entirely a bad thing. Habits help us navigate the world efficiently, allowing us to function without having to consciously decide every small action. But somewhere along the way, many of our habits stopped serving us. We developed patterns of thinking, feeling, and acting that keep us stuck in versions of ourselves that no longer fit who we're becoming. The beautiful truth is that every new day offers you a clean slate, a fresh opportunity to choose differently. Not dramatically, not perfectly, but consciously. Today doesn't have to be a carbon copy of yesterday. It doesn't have to follow the same emotional script or replay the same mental loops. Think about the patterns in your life that you'd like to change. Maybe it's the way you start your morning by immediately checking your phone, flooding your mind with other people's priorities before you've even connected with your own. Maybe it's the way you respond to stress by shutting down instead of reaching out. Maybe it's the way you talk to yourself when you make a mistake, with criticism instead of compassion. These patterns feel automatic because they've been reinforced over time, but they're not permanent. They're not who you are. They're simply what you've practiced. And anything that's been practiced can be practiced differently. Letting today be different doesn't require a complete life overhaul. It requires one conscious choice that breaks the chain of automatic behavior. It requires the willingness to notice when you're about to step into an old pattern and asking yourself, what would it look like if I chose differently right now? Maybe instead of reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, you reach for a glass of water and take 3 conscious breaths. Maybe instead of immediately diving into your to-do list, you spend 2 minutes writing down what you're grateful for. Maybe instead of responding to that challenging email with your usual defensiveness, you pause and respond from curiosity instead. These might seem like small changes, but small changes compound into transformation. Every time you choose differently, you're not just changing your behavior, you're changing your identity. You're proving to yourself that you're someone who can break patterns, someone who can choose growth over comfort, someone who can create change. The resistance you feel when you try to do something differently isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's a sign that you're doing something important. Your brain is designed to keep you safe by keeping you the same. When you choose differently, you're essentially telling your brain that you're ready to expand beyond your current limitations. Some days, choosing differently will feel natural and energizing. Other days, it will feel difficult and uncomfortable. Both experiences are normal and valuable. The days when it feels hard are the days when you're building the strongest muscles of change. Remember that you don't have to change everything at once. You don't have to become a completely different person overnight. You just have to be willing to let today be different from yesterday in one small, meaningful way. You have to trust that these small differences, accumulated over time, create the life you actually want to live. The person you're becoming is already within you, waiting for the space to emerge. Every time you choose differently, you're creating that space. Every time you break an old pattern, you're making room for a new possibility. Every time you let today be different, you're stepping closer to the version of yourself that feels most authentic and alive. Today is not just another day. It's a new opportunity to practice being who you want to become. It's a chance to write a different story, to respond from a different place, to create a different outcome. The power to change your life doesn't live in some distant future. It lives in this moment, in this choice, in your willingness to let today be different. That does it for today's episode of 7 Good Minutes. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on the platform you're listening on. Until next time, let's be civil to one another out there. Thanks for listening.